Moin YouTube! Today I want to take a look with you guys at the Ender glass plate upgrade for the Ender 5. So to get things started, you get it out of the box, you peel off the your protective layer there, you put it onto the printer, use the clamps to make sure it doesn't, jump off or something like that. You see this little screw back here, you need to dial it in a little bit to make sure that the Z-axis has a little bit more room. You heat up the bed, you heat up the nozzle, you do the entire bed leveling dance, and you get your print going. Well, unfortunately you realize, wow, that doesn't stick like at all. So you Google up a little bit and you learn, hey, I'm actually just supposed to clean it, just get a good rub in with some isopropylenic alcohol, and then you do your next print. And it gets worse. Just take a look at this. This just clearly doesn't work. It really doesn't stick. And, well, crap. So, where do we take it from here, right? Obviously we tried using it right away, it didn't work. We tried to clean it and it didn't work. Now, cleaning is the right answer to it. There's a good other video on YouTube that basically revolves around just telling you clean it. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Now, what I want to talk a bit about is that cleaning thing. Before I do that, I kind of have to tell you a story about this mask, diving mask right here. So about a year ago, I took diving classes. My girlfriend, she's a very big fan of diving. She's been doing it for many years, and she kind of got me into it. So I got this mask for the classes, because that's one of the parts that you should bring yourself. And she told me, okay, Max, put toothpaste, I kid you not, regular toothpaste onto the inside and just let it sit overnight. Otherwise you will have a bad time because it will be fogging up very badly. And me being the smart ass that I tend to be, lazy bum, depends on how you look at it, of course I just didn't listen and didn't do it. So when I took them for my first dive, it was bad. They fogged up constantly, I had to clean them underwater all the time. It was just really bad. So the next night I actually took her advice, put the toothpaste in and let them sit overnight, rinsed them off, used them, and it worked perfectly. No issues whatsoever. As it turns out, in the front of this here is also something that you're very familiar with. It's glass. It's called tempered glass here, whatever that means, but this glass has a silicone layer on it when you get it, and you have to get that silicone off because that silicone is what causes it to fog. And in order to do that, you basically put the toothpaste on it, which dissolves that silicone. Now, the glass beds that you get for the 3D printers, now first of all, they have that piece of plastic on top of them, which most likely leaves behind some sort of adhesive. Maybe that adhesive is actually silicone spray. I honestly don't know. I don't really plan on making any tests or something to figure it out. That being said, when I got my first glass plate and I was experiencing these issues, basically the first two parts that I showed you, using it right away and cleaning it a little bit, were the things that I did. I remembered this part about the diving mask, and what I did was, basically treat the glass the way that I treated the diving mask. So, what you need to do is, I guess, pretty straightforward, Just take the glass plate and get some toothpaste. Really, this is just a random grab from the shelf. It's actually my regular toothpaste. Just get quite an amount of toothpaste on top of the glass plate and just rub it in there and make sure that it's spread out evenly and that the entire glass plate is covered. Once it's covered, just set it aside for round about an hour. That's how long I let it sit. And then, of course, just under running water, get off all the toothpaste, just rinse it down there. Make sure that all of it is done. It will most likely have a pretty fresh smell after this process. Then you get it back into the 3D printer. Since the bed leveling should still be okay, start printing right away. And as you can see, now the prints just stick beautifully to it.
And that's basically it. Really, it works like a charm, and if you're like me and you just don't want to have to bother with it and have as minimum work with it as possible, then you should probably give it a try. And just, you know, to go to show a little bit, here is for a different project that I'm working on, a bearing with some very fine structures that, well, if it didn't stick properly, it wouldn't work, but, you know, does its job. Or here is basically a mesh that I'm creating for yet another project, which also has very fine structures on the inside, which all just came out of the printer's glass bed quite perfectly. Actually, probably on the other end, it was really hard to get them off at the beginning. You know, get it kind of, because I have an Anycubic printer that I used before with a glass bed, kind of familiar with a couple of tricks on how to get it off the bed. But yeah, it works like a charm. That's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please consider subscribe or leave a comment down below, and see you next time.